we all know where that's at. You also have the Pihon, which is the Nile, and you have the other river, which encompasses the land of Cush, because that's not the Nile River. That says it's in the land of Havilah. So from my searching out, that is the Congo River that he's speaking about. Now, when
No,
you
it's
look at
not,
the
man.
Tigris, and the Euphrates, it comes out of, if I'm not mistaken, the Persian Gulf. Now that over centuries have changed its course, just like the Nile River was hundreds of miles away, not only 200 years ago. So what we're doing is we're trying to see where all four of these rivers can meet, because it's obviously that they're speaking of the Nile, the Euphrates, the Tigris, and the other one, which is in the land of Cush, that's in the land of Havilah. We must get a meeting point for all of these rivers. And from what I triangulated, all of that comes to be the Horn of Africa.
This world of Eden and the regions which surround it. To the east of the great lake known as Urumia, in the east of Eden, as the Bible says, is a long fertile valley protected by high mountain walls on its northern and southern sides, a walled paradise garden on a massive scale. The western end of the garden is bordered by the marshes of the lake. At its eastern end, a pass or eastern gate leads to the outside world. And through the valley runs a river, the river of the garden, which flows into the great lake. To the north of the garden is a fertile region through which run several tributaries of the river Aras. But this river has a much older name. At the time of the Islamic invasion of Persia in the 7th century, Arabic geographers referred to it as the Gaihun. If you remember, the Bible tells us that the Gihon flowed through the land of Cush, and early Christian scholars concluded that this was the land of Cush in Africa. But believe it or not, the ancient name of this region through which the Gaihun flows is also Cush. And that mountain up there, even today, is still called Cush-Adag, the mountain of Cush. There can be little doubt that the Gaihun and the biblical Gihon are one and the same, and that this is the real Cush of Genesis. And so we've identified the third of the four rivers in Genesis which pinpoint Eden. The location of the fourth river also slots into place just where you'd expect it, in the southeastern quarter of our map. It's the river Kezel Uizon, which, if we're right, the biblical author called the Pishon, winding all through the land of Havilah, rich in gold. Gold is still found in the Kezel Uizon today. Indeed, the word Kezel means golden, the golden Uizon. But how can Uizon be the same as Pishon? The answer, as language experts have suggested, lies in the transcribing of an ancient Iranian name into biblical Hebrew, which is a Semitic language. For example, the ancient Manian city of Uishderi is today known by the Arabic name of Pishdeli. The Iranian letter U has become a Semitic P. In the same way, the old Iranian river name Uizon has been converted into Semitic Pishon by the biblical author.